everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres, and if you think that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. So today we're going to be answering questions from the writers in my audience. I have 10 questions and a bonus one, and I'm just going to jump right to it. So number one, what made you decide to write YA? Was there any particular genre that caught to you? When I first started writing, I was 19, and the first idea that really called to me was more middle grade than YA, but it was a book I'd written when I was 13. So I revised that one and rewrote it and all the rest of it, and it became more YA as I revised it. But the first book that I really started to write, knowing that this was going to be a book that I published one day, or hoped to publish one day, was a YA idea. It involved teenagers, it involved teenager tropes, all of that. And the genre that really called to me was mystery / thriller / crime. And I did write in that genre, and I still do write in that genre for a very long time before I really branched out into other ones. Number two, do you ever worry that you'll run out of YA ideas? No. Hasn't happened yet, almost 40 books in, so I don't think it's going to happen. I do occasionally get that fear and anxiety when I'm close to the end of a project that something is going to happen and I'm not going to have an idea to write next, but it's never happened, so I don't know why I have that anxiety and worry. It's just there. Number three, happy Authorversary in advance. Does it feel like publishing has changed since your debut? For those who don't know, I have been published for 17 years now. My debut came out on the 10th of August 2005, which was a very long time ago, even though it feels like just yesterday. Publishing has changed a whole ton since Blackout was released. Firstly, there wasn't really much space for people to be indie in the way that they are now. There were ways to do it, but they weren't brilliant. And now there's this, it's open to pretty much everybody who wants to do it, who has the skills to do it, who's willing to put in the time and effort to do it, and that's a really good thing. So yeah, publishing has very much changed in 17 years. Number four, what's one piece of advice you wish you'd been given when you first started? I think the big one is that my staple piece of advice, that it takes as long as it takes, and that's okay. I wish I'd known that when I first started. But other pieces of advice, like how you should have distance between your first draft and your second, that I wish I'd been told when I first started. I started writing at 19, I'm 40 now, so you can imagine the mistakes that I've made along the way. And there wasn't things like social media and stuff like that, which I know makes me sound like an old person, but there weren't those kind of things out there that you could go to for advice and all the rest of it. You basically had a library, you had the internet, but if you didn't know people, then you didn't have anybody to ask. Number five, have you ever regretted publishing a book? If so, which one? No. If I had regretted publishing it, I would unpublish it. That's pretty much what my stance on the thing. I'm not really a fan of taking a book down, revising it, and then putting it back up, but I think that's different strokes, different people. Everyone has their own reasons for that. But if I didn't like a book, if there was a book that I had published that I felt I didn't want to put my name behind, then I would unpublish it. Number six, are your friends, family supportive of your writing? Do you feel like they take it seriously? Yes, my friends are very good at making sure that they take it seriously. They're making sure that they realize this is my career and this is what I do, and giving me the time and space and stuff to do the writing and all the rest of it. My family are supportive in that they're proud of me, and in that they all have signed copies of my books. But I don't think any of them, I think my parents, either of my parents have read my books, which, you know, is okay. They're YA. My parents are obviously older than I am, but they all take it seriously. They all know this is my career and this is my job and all the rest of it, so that's good. Number seven, what kind of relationship do you have with your editing team? We are all friends. Two of my best friends, one of them is my developmental editor, one of them is my line editor, and my proofreader is another friend. I was just really lucky in the fact that when I came to needing editors and stuff, I knew people, so I was able to work with them rather than maybe branching out and working with someone who I didn't know. Number eight, since you write so many books a year, do you ever worry you'll have more in backlog than you can physically get through? Yes. I'm actually starting to wonder if maybe I should take a year or two off drafting so that I can revise a lot of my projects, so that if something happens to me, they're still in a position where they're more likely to be able to be published rather than left languishing, which at the moment, if anything happened to me, there's still so much in first draft status that I don't think anybody could bring about the ending that I actually wanted, because it's in my head, it's not on the page necessarily. So I think about taking a year or two off drafting, both to cut down on how many books I have in backlog and to spend that time revising so that I don't have to worry too much that the books aren't going to be in shape in time and all the rest of it. Number 9. Have you ever felt like giving up on writing? If so, how did you move past it? I have done. There have been times when I've been stuck in a rut or stuck in writer's block and I've just not wanted to continue writing, but at the same time it's very much a part of who I am, it's very much a part of my identity, it's very much a part of how I see the world. So a lot of the time it's me moving past it is basically me taking a deep breath, taking time off and accepting that it's hard, but it's something that I want to do. It's going back to that why I do it kind of thing. Like, I do it because I have stories to tell, because I need to tell these stories, and in difficult times it's better to focus on that why than all the stress that comes from it. And number 10. If you could do it again, would you still be an indie author or would you try traditional publishing? I don't know, because if I was doing it again, it would be back in 2005, as we discussed was a long time ago. I did try to be traditionally published. I did query and all the rest of it back then. It wasn't anywhere near as regimented as I see some people doing querying because, like I said, the internet, social media, etc., etc. I'm an old person. But I think if I thought I could go with traditional publishing, I would, but I don't think I would be where I am now if I stuck with traditional publishing. One of the reasons why I chose to go indie was I couldn't cope with the deadlines. I needed to be able to set my own arbitrary deadlines and decide whether or not they were flexible or not. And I know that there is some leeway when it comes to traditional publishing. I know it's not all you must do this by this date, otherwise we'll kill you kind of thing. Well, not kill you, but you know. I still feel like being independent, being indie, made it possible for me to write the books that I wanted to write and write the stories that I wanted to write and not have to worry too much about pleasing an agent or pleasing a publisher and all of that. I felt there were too many unknowns in traditional publishing for me. I wanted that control. And the bonus question, do you have some part of your routine that has stayed the same since you started writing? Yes and no. I always have made chapter plans the way that I make them. There are some things that have evolved in the fact that I now do a timeline with them, which I didn't in the beginning, because I learned very quickly that knowing what day of the week and such stuff happened on was really useful. The other parts of my routine that have stayed the same, I always want to have a cup of tea while drafting. I always want to be in a certain frame of mind. And yeah, that's about it really. Everything else has fluctuated. The time of day, the speed at which I write, how I write. Because in the beginning I used to write by hand and then type up in the evening. And that worked for me because I could still edit as I went. But I think pretty much there's only a couple of things that have stayed static, and the rest of it has all fluctuated over time and energy and all the rest. So there we go. Those are your 11 questions from the writers in my audience. If you ever have a question for me, feel free to shoot it to me over social media. I will probably answer it there and then, but sometimes I hoard them for videos like this. So do you ever worry that you'll run out of ideas? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pre-order Cramming Chronicles: The Second Pang, which is the second in a young adult urban fantasy series. And if you do pre-order, don't forget to grab the swag, and also don't forget to grab a ticket for Author City in Birmingham in July 2023, where I'll be signing books. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.